Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I believe this is going to be part 40 of my first ever Unreal Project series that I've been working on. I've been making a lot of progress. I've made it pretty far. I think it's been a year, it's over a year and a half now that I've been working on this one project, and only this project. Lately I've had a lot of time to work on it, so I've been making a lot of progress, and I'm going to try to get the game out on Steam here in the next month, so stay tuned for that. I am going to delete my save and start over from the beginning so we can see the building system, but first I want to show you all the crafting benches I've added, plus a lot of the bugs I've been fixing along the way. So first off, we got some new crafting benches, and I just mocked up a crafting list. I need to add, you know, iron ingots and stuff to the game. I don't have those yet, so I just mocked up. I just threw in some random stuff into each thing. The anvil's still the same, but I reworked the looks of a lot of them. You can see the carpentry bench. I added some things to it. I can obviously add more detail. I got a little better at it as I made them, you know. I think the last one I made is probably the best looking one. We're not going to make tools in the crafter's bench. We're probably going to make clay, jars, pots, bowls, and glass jars and vases. I don't know. Stuff like that. Here we'll, you know, make the clay into bricks and stuff like that, and make sand into glass. Probably not going to have mud in the kiln. But I've started adding a lot of the detail to these buildings as well, so I can pretty much get them ready to make them like the carpenter's hut where we can build them. You know, first I have to add all the little details, like I added that little sign, I added these bellows here. Some of the buildings have different windows and stuff like that, so I have to create some new building pieces, and the roofs are different sizes, so I have to basically make another building piece for the roofs. I gotta make some doors for the buildings. And I still can't find any wooden building parts that match my system. I had to rework quite a bit of the interaction system to get Ray to work. I need to make it to where I can hit E and close this. And that would be nice, because if I open something I can hit E and close it. But not the dialogue. Okay, so we got her working with our hybrid interaction system. So, oh, that's not going to be in the radius. So, okay, maybe it's not working. Was I not aiming at her? Oh well. Alright, I'll take a look at that again. I thought that was working, but she wasn't working at all earlier. I've been working on just so many small things, like these wells. Like, you used to be able to see the grass inside the well, and now it's just like a black void in there. Let's eat some food so we don't die. You can see the jeweler's bench is like one of the last things I kind of made. And it looks pretty good. Oh man, you can see my head disappears in a shadow. I do that for the camera. But anyways, like I said, I mocked up some crafting lists just to make sure the crafting benches were working with the existing crafting system that I have. So basically any item that I add to the game, if I add crafting time and crafting cost, it should automatically load in here. I'm not sure why the gems have a crafting time. It looks like a bug because they all have 5 seconds. We gotta go take that off of there. Not that it should matter, but you're never gonna craft gems. You're gonna mine them, and you're never gonna craft this stuff either. You will probably put hide into here, and then over here you'll be able to craft, you know, leather from the hide. And then in the tanning vat, I don't know, you'll do like resin and animal fat and make like tanning oil or something like that. And then you'll need the tanning oil on the hide to make leather. That's what it'll be. Something like that. You can see the tailor's bench, you know. Oh man, it's hovering off the ground. Got it looking kind of good. And you know, like some of these things, they're Instacraft because they don't have cost or time. But some of these things, like the wood bow, we're not going to make wood bows at a tailor bench, but just to test things, to make sure the crafting system works. Like we can't craft this unless we have the proper materials in there. And then it's crafting like it should. So that will work if I just need to make some new items now. Like I need to make like the leather backpack costs leather and rope and whatever, and it takes 60 seconds to make, and then it should work with the crafting bench. I mean, everything else seems to work. One thing I haven't added is the stove. I technically have a stove, but it's just a campfire right now. I don't really know what I want it to look like, and I don't want it to just look like the campfires that are in all the campfire places, because that's what this is like one of the campfire places. And basically the only difference is there's like a metal pot there. And I was also thinking about maybe adding like a brewing crafting station to like separate the two things, because this tavern, you know, like I wanted it to be one of the first things you build, but it's also going to be, it's the biggest building, it's going to be expensive, and you don't really get a whole lot out of it. So like I was thinking, like if you got a stove, a tier 2 stove and a tier 2 brewing thing instead of the campfire, which maybe the campfire can only cook like basics like raw meat, you know, but this can actually make like meals that do cool stuff like healing and stuff like that. So maybe you get like a lot more out of the tavern that way. Maybe you get like a free chest and like a bed, like a real bed, not like a straw mat. You know, and maybe the bed like does something better than the straw mat. Because if you place these straw mats out in the world, I don't want people to be able to like cheese a boss, you know, by respawning instantly on the straw mat and fighting the boss over and over. So maybe like you can't respawn on a straw mat right away. Maybe you have to wait a while. And maybe there's a bed in the game that you can only place on a foundation, you know. That's something else I got working. I don't think yeah, I didn't mention this. So we got our campfire and our carpenter's bench. So like campfires we can place anywhere, like on any terrain. And same with those sleeping bags. We can place these on any terrain as long as it's flat. But a carpenter's bench, you know, we don't want people dragging these out in the world and crafting like, you know, like an anvil or something, bringing it out there and making like iron arrows or something, whatever, you know, making bows or crossbows. So we can only place these on foundations now, which also eliminates the problem of placing them on top of building parts and like being able to jump on top of the building, which is really nice. You can only place it on foundations. And yeah, so that works. But yeah, so like the sleeping bags, if we are able to place those anywhere in the world, maybe when we die we have to wait like 2 minutes to respawn at it or something. But I got the interaction system working really, really well now. Hopefully to where the player doesn't even like notice anymore. So like here, we're in the radius of like a whole bunch of things, right? Like all these stone items and the sawmill and the door. So before, you know, when we look at something, we could select things a little bit, but not really. Now it updates on the screen and everything works really well. When we leave the radiuses, it goes away. You know, if we drop something, it doesn't like bug out the whole interaction system. Sometimes the open and close thing changes, I see. So it says close. It says collect stone now. Oh, I collected stone. Okay. Well, I mean, I guess that's because I was looking at it. I dropped it right where I was looking at. Oops, that went in the inventory. Yeah, see, it's where I'm looking at. So another thing is, it selects wherever the player head is, and I think I need to make like a little crosshair next to the E, because you would think it's where the E is, right? Like you put the E right over it. Maybe I should just do that, since that's where you think it would be, but it's actually where the player head is. So if I put the player head over it, it'll actually work. Like if I want to pick up that stone where the player head is, or like let's pick up this stone over there, you know, like you can actually pick up the things you want now, but you'd have to know that it's where the player head is. So I think I'm gonna move it a little bit to where it's the E, and then I want to also make it where it highlights the item that you're selecting. So, you know, like it'll put like a little highlight thing around the item, so you know it's that one. I just don't want it to be like a real hard outline. But yeah, we got that working. Works pretty good, to where the player's not even gonna really notice it. I don't think. It's pretty intuitive. All the things work still. Well, I got them working still, so you know, you can do what you want to now. The player can play the game. Yay. Alright, so before the video gets super long, I think that's most of the bug fixes. There's probably a lot more small ones that I've done. We're going to delete the game, save, and then load up a new one. And I've reworked the way that works, so... What is this? Current anvil inventory. I messed something up. Anvil. Current anvil inventory. I don't know. I'm gonna look at that later. That's weird. But anyways, okay, we delete our save, and I wanted to show you this real quick. If you remember from a bunch of videos ago, I made like a basically like a roadmap, and this is the old roadmap. You know, like I you know, it worked out which months I wanted to work on stuff. Basically, I kind of kept to it a little bit. The player animation, the AI kind of got switched around, and then everything kind of got moved back. You see I did the animations in January. And then the quest and NPC thing took an entire month, and I thought I was just going to sneak that in here. I didn't realize that was going to take an entire month to do. So as you can see here, the plan was to do the town overhaul, and then work on the dungeon, and then basically release the game. This was kind of what I was hoping to work on if I had extra time. But as soon as I got this worked out, and this included reworking a lot of the AI and the attacking and stuff, so that might be a whole nother month. But basically that's where I wanted to, that was my release point. So if we look at, you know, we got our character animations done in January. The quest system and NPC system was a lot more complicated than I thought, and we're on the building system in the town overhaul now. So, you know, after that gets done, we work on our dungeon and then overhaul the combat. And I've made a huge list of, you know, stuff I need to do also to fine-tune stuff. Like, I want to redo all the sound. I want to go back over all the sounds. I obviously need to add a lot of items like weapons and armors and stuff. And when I do that, I need to fine-tune it on the character. But this is turning into a huge thing. And I'm also bug fixing a lot of stuff along the way. So I just wanted to show you that real quick to kind of just, you know, like, we're getting there. Little by little, you know, we are getting there. So I've deleted the save. Now we can reconnect the save when we exit the game. And now when we load a game, this should be a fresh game. And I haven't done this in a while, so we are going to find out what happens together. All right. That is working the way it's supposed to. Okay, we took some damage. We're starving. Jumped over the tree. We're gonna crouch under this. We got the nanite error again. Alright, so now we need to collect, and I still need to put optional up there. But there's a bunch of these white mushrooms up here that give you a lot of stamina. So I'm gonna grab those just to be able to run up to the town a lot better. And I'm gonna get the blue mushrooms too, because I want to test out the bonus XP. Because I've also fixed the, and I forgot to write this on the roadmap, but I fixed the way the quest XP works. Hold on a second. So these blue mushrooms also give you a lot of thirst too. Oops, that's not a blue one. There you go. So now we should be able to kind of get our hunger and thirst up there with these mushrooms in the cave. And there's red ones, so you got to be careful not to eat those. Alright, so let's find the exit to the cave. You can see we're not healing yet because we don't have regeneration. We haven't worked our stats up yet to get regeneration. And I'm not going to do any of the side quests. We're just going to go straight to the castle and try to keep the video short. And we can eat white mushrooms to get our stamina up like that. You see that? Maybe I should pick up some of this stuff. I don't remember if I need to do that or not. One thing that doesn't delete when I delete the saves are the chest inventories. So the chest inventories will actually try to reload, even if it's like a new chest. It's gonna try to reload the chest inventory. So if it matches like the name of a chest from the previous save, it's gonna actually load the inventory from the previous save, which is kind of weird, but it's how like my chests work right now. And I see I got a lot of loads that are kind of like working kind of weird on the docks there. Good thing we had those white mushrooms. We would not have had the stamina to make it up here. I think these other mushrooms give us a little stamina. So let's jog up here. We can technically go into a walk mode, which is really slow, but it regenerates slowly too. You know, we don't got time for that, so we're just gonna sprint our way into town here. We could see all our beautiful interaction things are working. Alright. Oh yeah, so let's explore the castle. So that obviously shouldn't be showing up like right when we enter the game, right? So I gotta make a thing that goes around the building that only shows the ghost images when you get near it, but also only when you have a quest active for rebuilding the carpentry bench, which I haven't actually made the quest for yet. Okay, so there we got 1400 XP for finishing that quest. Player level 2, player level 3, player level 4. So before our XP did not roll over. And now I got it working to where it does roll over and adds up. So like if we got like 1000 melee XP, it would level up all those levels until like level 5 or 6 or whatever. So that's cool. I got that working. That's the first time I've tested that. Alright, yep, I want to do that quest. I actually don't want to do that quest. I kind of just want to show you the rebuilding thing, which I haven't actually added the quest for that yet. But I think we're up to the point to where all this stuff is working pretty nice now. As soon as I get all these other buildings, I think to where we can rebuild them and figured out which ones, like the jeweler's hut, I don't think we're going to rebuild that one. I think we're going to do something different there. We don't want to punch. There. Oh, we don't have any materials to rebuild this. Alright, so now the rebuilding system works really nice. I added some sounds, which obviously don't sound great, but I made them myself. I'm not even sure if you guys can hear me over those sounds. They're pretty loud on my end. But basically I made sounds for stone, wood, and fiber, and then finishing the building. So you can see that's a bunch of stone sounds. And I'm realizing here that it keeps the building menu is keeping the thing, even if that's not the thing we're looking at anymore. So I gotta fix that. And I mean, these sounds, yeah, they're bad, right? They're bad. But I made them myself, you know, like I made all these icons myself, like all these pictures. I made every one of these pictures myself. I reworked that XP icon. I think it looks a lot better, but, you know, like I make everything myself. So if it looks bad, it's because, you know, like I'm not an audio expert. I'm not, you know, like a Photoshop expert. Like, I'm not even a video game expert. Like, I've been figuring this stuff out as I go. I have some background in Photoshop and some background in video editing and audio editing, so I'm able to do it. And, you know, that's cool that I can make my own icons, my own sounds and stuff, but, you know, like, I got a lot to learn in those departments. That's basically, typically, you know, in like real video games, like AAA games, they have like teams of people that work on audio, teams of people that work on 2D art, teams of people that work on 3D art. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna end the video here because we're not gonna like just keep getting materials to build all this stuff, but you kind of get the gist of it. There's different sounds for different things. I found a few bugs that I need to fix now that we tested it this far. But in the next video, I'll show you how the carpentry bench loads and the sawmill loads, and we can pick up the carpentry bench and move it, and the building remembers that. But we cannot pick up the saw bench and move it. That's too big of an item to move, and if you pick it up and move it, I have to make it a craftable. And if it's craftable, people can make multiples. And if they can make multiples, then all of a sudden they can make lumber twice as fast. So I'm kind of gonna restrict the player a little bit in that sense, but you know, like I kind of got to build the game up to this point to start figuring stuff like that out. So stay tuned for the next video. Hopefully we'll have all the buildings built, and maybe we'll do like a run through. I realize now that I am gonna make all the building costs like really cheap. See, that's not the stone doorway. Alright, stone wall. See, like 10 stone. If the repair costs are expensive, this is going to be impossible to test all these buildings. So we're gonna just set it up for testing purposes, and we'll do a speed run through the town to rebuild everything in the next video. So stay tuned, guys. Thanks for watching. Later. Oops, that's not how you say goodbye. That's how you say goodbye. Later.